All right, our special debate on the buck stops here tonight. We're looking closely at Jairam Ramesh's environmental activism. Is this much needed intervention that has put environment on the national stage, as it were, or is it over the top and anti-growth? Let me start with Sunita Narayan. Sunita, we've had two big issues this week. One, the ordering of the Adarsh Housing Society, the ordering of the demolition of the Adarsh Housing Society, and now this order against Lavasa, which suggests that it's illegal but allows it to pay a penalty and to make amends in other ways. People are looking at this, and there are those who may applaud Jairam Ramesh for being tough. There are those who are saying that he is, in a sense, India's new demolition man, and demolition being a metaphorical word here. How do you see these two orders that have come this week?
I think, Barkha, we must see these two orders in the light of, in fact, a number of orders that have come over this year, whether it's been Vedanta, whether it's been the issue of POSCO. I think it's very important for us to recognize that most of these orders, other than Adarsh, have come because local people who are badly affected by these projects have been agitating, have been actually violently agitating, saying very clearly that this environment, this development is hurting their livelihoods. It's taking away their forests, it's taking away their water, it's going to make them even poorer than they are today. So I think to some extent, many of these orders are responding to the fact that as yet development has not been inclusive, it is not sustainable, and so many of these projects are being looked again.
So
there's also another aspect.
So, Sunita, would you say that Jairam Ramesh has not overdone it, as many of his critics say?
No, I think in many ways, Jairam Ramesh is only responding to the kind of issues that local people are bringing out. Now, the only other issue that I do want to flag right at the beginning is that what these orders are also speaking of is the fact that, one, there is huge violation when it comes to the enforcement of environmental laws, and therefore there is also a need to upgrade our abilities to be able to monitor what is going wrong. Clearly, what we should not be doing is to say that any project which has already been built is now illegal. We should know that it is illegal because our monitoring systems are so good that we can catch them. Yeah. But it does show that there are a number of violators, and industry is in fact a big violator here.
Okay, that's one perspective. Tavleen Singh, can we get you in now? You have, of course, a personal association and connection with the Lavasa project. So your position could come from that perspective, but respond specifically to some of the criticisms that have been raised in the report placed by the Environment Ministry. And I'm quoting here, which among other things says the damage has been done for the sake of speedy development. There have been flexible development controls. Large-scale hill cutting has changed the topography of the region, and locals fear a likelihood of landslides, and some villagers are alleging that their land was taken forcibly. These are some of the comments made in that report today. Your response on Lavasa and the larger question of Jairam Ramesh's activism?
All right. For a start, it's very confusing, the response of the Environment Ministry, because the committee, when it was in Lavasa, found no violations. I really believe that the ministry is finding some way to find something wrong with Lavasa, because I think the minister was misled by Ms. Medha Patkar, who is not an environmentalist, but someone concerned with livelihood issues. She's been trying to close Lavasa down on the basis of a lot of false allegations that she even gave to the Sunday Times London. And, you know, they printed a story for which they apologized and gave Lavasa damages. Secondly, because I have watched this project, I wish more environmental journalists went there before they made their reports, by the way. I've actually been there. And the highest standards of environmental preservation have been made. If Jairam Ramesh had gone there himself, he might have thought of this as a model project. But unfortunately, he didn't go and was misled by these activists. Now, you know, Sunita Narayan says these projects, that he's responding to local people. This is not true of Lavasa. Thousands of people came out in front of the committee and said they didn't want the project to stop. Medha Patkar came with about 10 people. And, you know, the media, because the media, I'm afraid, has played a really bad role in this. It's leaked information from the Ministry of Environment that we use. Nobody actually goes to the spot and does any real reporting. And you know, this is why this is misled. And then you have these scrolls going on all the time. Ah, great damage, and there's no details of the damage at all.
Okay, that's
but you know, what you said.
Yeah.
What you said about local is not true.
No, I'm only quoting from the report.
It's clearly not true.
I'm quoting from his report. It's not my quote. I'm quoting
Yes.
from the Environment Ministry's report. Now,
okay,
Yeah.
Barkha,
Yeah. Yes.
I understand. Can you build a hill station without cutting hills? Can you build a city without cutting forests? India needs 500
But then somebody
cities,
would say to you,
according to
Tavleen,
Prahlad.
Sohail is laughing and I'm going to ask him why in just a minute, but somebody would say to you, is it necessary to build a city in the hills?
And for whom?
And for
Well,
whom?
you know, I mean, it's not the... But it was the policy of the Maharashtra government. They wanted a hill station. And so, you know, they decided to build it. This is only the second city we've built since independence.
Okay.
I mean, you know, we need 500 more. And if we're going to do this, we're not going to get those cities. We're going to get slums.